Well, hello, everyone. Here we are. I'm trying to think. I think it's the 19th class we've had in the senior form, and we are making really great progress. So today, we're going to review last week's move, and I noticed that I have some bad habits in that move. I'll be really frank right now. So I'm going to make sure that everybody didn't pick up any of those bad habits, and try to demonstrate correctly today as we review needle to sea bottom. So we'll be doing that. And then we're going to go on to circular cloud hands. So those of you who have had cloud hands before, but have not gotten to this point in the senior form before, you're in for quite the, I'm going to take you out for a spin. How about that? I'm going to take you out for a spin because circular cloud hands goes around in a circle. And so you don't want to do it too fast when you're doing it. So let's get started by doing everything that we have done today. Welcome, John. Nice to see you. Prepare. Opening. White crane spreads its wings. Grasp the bird's tail. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Fist. Under elbow. Left brush knee and push. Right brush knee and push. Step up and punch down. Golden rooster stands on one leg. 1, 2. Repulse the monkey. High pat on horse. Right separation kick. Left heel kick. Twin fists strike opponent's ears. Needle to sea bottom. All right, well, everybody's in needle to sea bottom. Congrats. I'm going to try to sneak peeks periodically. Let's do it in the same direction. Just know my gaze won't be there. I'll sneak some peeks and then we'll do a little bit and I'll just watch you, okay? But let's do it one more time. Prepare. Opening. White crane spreads its wings. Grasp the bird's tail. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Whoosh. Fist under elbow. Left brush knee and push. Right brush knee and push. Step up and punch down. Golden rooster stands on one leg. 1, 2. Repulse the monkey. High pat on horse. Right. Separation kick. Left heel kick. Twin fists strike opponent's ears. Needle to see bottom. All right. How's everybody feeling about that? What is the most challenging part? Nobody's going to answer me, huh? It's all right.
The most challenging part is not getting it muddled up with the traditional form.
Yes, or the essential form, if you know that too.
Or the essential
yes,
form,
yes. John, I can't hear you if you're talking to the class.
I think what's challenging for me is to keep my gaze, in front of me instead of looking down directly.
You know, I have the same issue. I needle to see bottom. I do. What I would actually like to do right now is see everybody. Let's see. Let's go. I'll show you. We'll do it together, and then I'll show you what I'd like to see. So then you folks do it while I watch. So why don't we start from the end of left heel kick? So you'll go up. We'll go up and left heel kick and come down and go into twin fists because that's a recent move. And then needle to see bottom. And I just want to see what that looks like for you folks. And actually, yeah, okay. So how about you do that to my call? So you're going to be having just done your kick, so however you want to be for that, and then you're going to go into twin fists. So go ahead into twin fists. And needle to see bottom. All right. And how about we do that again? All right. So from where you've just finished your kick, and you're going to step to go into twin fists. All right, looking pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna just call out some things, and if any of this, I'm gonna do it towards you so you can see what's going on here. And then I'm just gonna call out a few things, just do it really slowly, just so that folks can say, am I doing that? And then we'll do that sequence again. And then I'll go into more detail on last week's movement. So we've just completed this kick. We step down, one line, two sides, come forward and arms and up. Nice, nice. Then into twin fists. We are going to come off our right heel. I've been doing that wrong, so I just want to say that, all right? So you're going to bend your back leg, shifting back as you turn your torso square and withdraw your other arm. So you're going to be in this position at one point with all your weight on the left foot. Here we are back here, right at the center of us. And then we're going to quick put that foot back. It's hard to do it when you're just sitting. And as you put it back, you're going to start to open both hands and start to bring your left hand forward just a little bit, so that as soon as you've really rooted, you can get away, right? Because somebody's got this wrist. Remember that? Right? So it's actually a pretty natural coordination. So I'm going to show you one more time, and as I'm going to say, do as I say, not as I do, because I have a couple bad habits in here, right? So we're just going to go over this again. I'm going to do it in real slow motion, and you're going to see something. What you're doing here is you're going to really swing with your turn, because you're making this turn. With your turn and your shift, you're going to initially swing both elbow. Well, one elbow is already to the left. You're going to swing your right elbow to the left. So you see this intermediate point like this when you're partially shifted. Not that you would stop there. Then you finish your shift and your left hand has come in further. Your arms, your fists are still there. It is at this moment that the fists open. And not only do they open, that right arm stays forward. This is the right arm. But your left arm is starting its move, and they've both opened. Now you're rooted. You're going to turn to the right as you come back and bring you want your palm of your hand opposite your cheek. Opposite your cheek. Nice, nice. Then we're going to actually not stop right here. We're going to go all the way back and actually you're pushing down, not quite like, this looks like I'm pushing down at shoulder, but the camera angle's funny. It comes down a little. It's not 45, but it's kind of here, right? Eventually. Then you switch your footwork and you dive down. And as John pointed out, you are gazing out parallel to your right hand, but not, so it's one of those things where your gaze goes like this. So when you bend, right, it's gonna go towards the floor, but it's not gonna look at your hand or look right under where your hand is, right? It's gonna look out. It's gonna look out because it's gonna come out parallel. And it will intersect the floor, but it'll intersect the floor some feet away from where your hand would intersect if it got super long. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. So let's see if we can work on that from the, oh, and another thing, you want to make sure those elbows are down. So when you're in your, when you're here, make sure your shoulders aren't up. Keep your shoulders down, right? Because if your shoulders aren't down, your elbows can't be down. Right, so that looks much better, everybody. Then we're going to come back, and when you come back, you're coming off that right heel, and we're turning to 9 o'clock. And then as we come back, our hands open, and the left hand starts to move forward, but they have not crossed yet. And then really finish that turn to the right and finish, you're pushing out and down a little bit. Then change your footwork and dive down. Now keep that gaze out towards the ever-changing point where, I don't know, for me, I guess I intersect about 5 or 6 feet in front of me, right? So. All right, let me watch you folks do it. Okay, let me see it again. How about doing it just from twin fists? Just be in the twin fist position. And let's see, fist under elbow. I mean, needle, sorry, needle. All right, let's see if we can go through the swinging for these arms. Not quite sure how to make this. I'm wondering if I can do it the wrong way. No, I'm not going to do that because it could confuse you all. What you need to have happen here is you're turning, and as you do, I want you to be conscious that this elbow is leading. It's down and it's leading. In fact, if you watch Master Yang do it, see what it's like this. I'm going to just do it towards you for a minute. Okay. If you watch, no, I'm going to do it this way. If you watch Master Yang do it, you can see this intention in him at this point. You see that he is probably bringing in a strike here. Yeah, it's like he could be doing that, right? So it's a very power. You're shifting your weight, and you're also shifting. You're also when when you let your elbow swing first, you get extra energy that ends up being in this this wrist and arm. So just to have that, so when you're doing it, everybody, you're here. We swing and bend that left arm. So the left arm is coming in and the right arm is almost straight by the time you get to 9 o'clock. So see if everybody can get here. The right arm is out in front when you get to 9 o'clock. So I'm going to do it this way so that everybody can do it with me. From here, we are going to shift back and swing. Do you see how my right arm ends up almost straight? See that? And my left arm is quite bent. And my right arm is the fist palm, I guess you'd call it, is facing 6 o'clock. And my left arm, the fist palm, is facing 9 o'clock by the time you're done. And by the time you've completely shifted, then you're going to open that right and left, and the left one starts to move forward as your foot comes back. And it's ready to reorient, the left hand to reorient, to push off right past that other hand. So the right hand ends up by your cheek. Nice. Everybody's got it now. All right, we're gonna do it 2 more times just to make sure everybody has it, right? To give it body practice. Okay, so we're here and we're gonna shift left, swing our arms, bend that left arm, right arm ends up almost straight. Much better. Keep your elbows down. And are you coming off your right heel? Then all your weight is on your left foot. So what happens? Take your right foot, off your right foot. Take your right foot back for that empty step and make a toe touch. And as you do, you're going to open your hands and your left hand is going to come forward a little bit. Then come back. You're turning to the right when you do. It's very powerful. And you're basically pushing somebody off that's grabbed your wrist. And my push should probably be more a little bit right here once I've finished. Okay, and then change your footwork and come down. The reason why you do that is then you don't have to, why you're pushing off right here, is that it ends up by your knee. Your left hand, your left, you see, that's where it ends up. So that's the idea. Let's do it 2 more times here. From here. Swing left, draw back that arm, change your footwork, open your hands and come back, change your footwork and come down. All right, 1 more time. Looking better. Shift left, swing, turn, open, forward and back. Make sure right at this moment that you have a little tip forward, change your footwork, and then a bigger tip as you come down. And you don't have to bend a lot. You should never be bent more than 45 degrees. Okay. And the bend is not in your upper back. It's here. It's here. So you don't do this, it's here. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Dee Dee, in terms of the left hand. When you bring it around, it always stays in front of our mid chest until we separate out so that we can pull back.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it direct onto you. Don't get confused. Yes. This is the right hand, right?
Open it too much, I think.
So here. So do you see where the hands are? This one's opening towards that way. This one is kind of diagonal right now. And then when this hand goes back, they open, and you see how this hand's starting to get more straight. And then here. And this hand it just comes sort of straight. Yeah, straight back. You're basically wiping. That's why this hand is here. And it's not, I mean, it's not like this. It's like this, right? But that's why it's here, so that these arms are gonna intersect, right?
So Dee Dee,
yes.
martial arty, what's happening when you dive down?
Oh, poor opponent. Sad opponent. So many opportunities to give up. So think of it. The opponent, I should get my husband here because it's really lovely when you see it. So we go like this and just assume that our opponent either just grabs this wrist or grabs both. Oh man, we're in trouble, right? So they're facing us this direction. So we rotate, right? This wrist, how comfortable is that if they've grabbed that wrist? So now that wrist kind of hurts. I mean, their hand kind of hurts, but they're still holding on. Wow, this is quite something. I'm sorry, look at that foot. I have to come back on my heel. This is a bad habit. Okay, come back on my heel. So then you put back and they're still holding on, and you go like this and somehow they're still holding on. They're still holding on here. They're still holding on here like this. So my hand's like them. We do this. And then we sink. And this is a joint lock. It's going to lock them right. Where are we? Let me just get there. Here. Okay. It's going to lock them about here. And they're ours. Right here. Right here. They're ours. It hurts. But we go down. We go down. And our weight is nicely back because that's part of what's nice about it's only 30% of our weight is in the front, right? So we've got control, and we've got complete control of them because we have put a joint lock on their wrist. So their poor wrist is like this. And then we're just, if you've ever had, I don't know, it was like in middle school, somebody would take your, if you were in a rough middle school, they could take your wrist and do that, and they had you. What could you do, right? So that's what's happening. Yep, that's what's happening. It's a joint. Master Yang is really great. He says it's a control move. Other people would say and we do. We have control of them. They're ours. We can do with them as we want. But I don't understand why they don't let go sooner. Because when they've grabbed us here and we go on the diagonal, we're fine. And and they're way off balance. They have to follow us. I mean, they're already ours. They're building momentum as they come back. And then we get this joint lock on them. It's a really lovely move. It's really lovely to have this way to come into needle to sea bottom. So thanks for asking. Yeah. Are we feeling pretty comfortable about that? All right. How many of you have done cloud hands before? In everybody who's in the and T is like, well, yeah, but you know, it's kind of iffy, right? Not everybody is kind of full on having fun. So let's remember the cloud hands that most of us know, which is just in the long form. Okay, so let's look at that first, and then I'm going to show you the cloud hands. So the hands are the same. I want to go over the hands a little bit today. We're going to take 2 weeks for this movement, all right, so that you can really get it down. Now, if everybody has it down at the end of the day, we'll move faster, right? So we'll see how it goes. All right. So what I want you to actually do is stand like shoulder. Let's do it this way. Yeah, because that's the way we do it in the. Yeah. That's the way. Stand shoulder to shoulder with me, and we're just going to do the hands first, right? So, you know how we rotate and we turn our upper body this way, you can see it. And then we come back and one hand's going up and one hand's coming down. And at one moment they're like this, right? Right? They're like this. And then when this left hand is getting to right in front of you, you're turning, and you're rotating that left forearm, and your weight shifts to the left. And then you come back to the right. We're just going to stay in place for the moment. Just your cloud hands movements. And when you're at a position that you can look towards the screen, I want you to be able to see what my body is doing. You can see the turns a lot better here. You turn your torso to the right when your arms are going to the right, and your torso goes to the left when your arms are going to the left. All right. And from this angle, you can also see sort of those lovely Tai Chi arms. If you look, how curved they are, how unified they are as we move. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go all our weight to the right foot and step out with the left. And then we're just going to move as we do it. And you've all done this before, I believe. Or maybe Gail and you haven't. But we're going to like just keep moving. You don't have to do that. We're just kind of moving the side. This is one way you can do cloud hands in the senior form if you don't want to do the circular cloud hands. All right, so I want to show you the arms straight on. It's looking like people in general have it. So if you want to
on a circular cloud hands, not compulsory, Dee Dee.
They are not compulsory.
Even in ranking?
Yes, except that it's not a rankle, it's a demonstration form. But for the demonstration, if you're in competition, you could not do the circular cloud hands. Yes.
Oh.
It's an option. Just like opening is an option to sync. That's also another option. I think those are the two options that you have. for this form. It's a senior form, so there are certain approved options that are, you know, if that's something you can't do, right? So, so they're there. So what I'd actually like to do is mirror for you. So so if you want to start like this, so you're going to put your right hand here, right? And then we're going to turn the top hand and pull as the bottom hand comes up. Then the top hand drops. I mean, sorry, yeah, what was the top hand? The outside hand drops and the inside hand lifts. And I want you to see this moment, right? Then we get here and we're gonna rotate. Rotate, and we're turning. The turning is rotating our arm. We get to here, these fingers are pointing to the middle forearm. Nice, and you are turned to the side. I see lots of great turns. Then inside arm goes up, outside arm goes down, and you're turning back. You get to this point, you rotate, and it's a grab pull that you're doing. Inside arm up. Get to this point, rotating. You're turning all the time. Inside arm up. Rotate. Inside arm up. Rotate. Inside arm up. Rotate. And if you are a person who's working on coordinating your turning, this is a lovely move to do. You let your turning really be fully coordinated with your arm movements, and they'll just be beautiful. Nice extended curving arms. So that's all the arms are doing. It looks like everybody has at least a beginning understanding of that. Any questions about the arms? I'll tell you a couple tricks if there's somebody watching who has never done it before. One thing you can do to start is like this. Most people can do this. You know what I'm doing? And just kind of, yeah, exactly. Most people can do this with their fingers. I don't know why it is, but they can just do it like that. And then if you slow it down and make it bigger, you start to get the circling. And then eventually you can turn it into that beautiful Tai Chi move, which of course, where we're turning. And of course, we're going to be shifting weight also. But that's the upper body. Any questions about the upper body? What gets hard is when you try to put it together and go in a circle. So let's talk about this circling. And I know there's at least one person in this class who's never done the circle. So first of all, without falling down, don't do it fast. I want everybody in here to just walk around in the circle. Just walk around in a circle, okay? And I want you to be as efficient as you can. So one foot's gonna go, and then I want you to actually turn to the right when you do it. So, and then I want you to figure out what you're doing. So just slow down a little bit. What are you doing when you do it? Which foot moves when? Keep your head straight up or you're gonna get very dizzy. Like everybody's doing it naturally. Have you noticed what you're doing? Everybody in the class, when you just spontaneously do it, and if you're 3 years old, this is what you do too, right? You turn to the right because you're spinning, or you turn to the left. We're going to turn to the right. So I'm going to turn to right now. And when you do, you tend to step forward. And then you've got to keep turning to the right. But there's only one way to keep turning to the right. What do? You step back. And then you keep turning to the right. So what do? You step forward. And then you step back. And that's what every single one of you were doing. So this is the footwork. In fact, it's very clever. We do this footwork. The footwork is done in such a way that when we do it, we start and end in the same spot. And I can't do it fast and do it, but when I do the form, I do. So maybe I can fake it a little bit. Here you go. So you step, and then you step back, and then you step forward, and then you step back. And okay, so I didn't quite do it. When I do the form, I can do it. But you know, I started here and I ended up here. But basically you end up in the same place you started. So it really is a spin. It's exactly what you folks were doing. But when you take it apart, it somehow gets harder. Now, this is described in very many ways. I will describe it in one way, but I'm going to do honor to the way Nancy Lucero describes it. She describes it, and I don't know how easy it is to see. So I'm going to put my foot here, because I'll describe it as your feet are always pointing towards the corner. And I'll tell you how that works. And I'll give you a picture of that. And I'll also give you Rita's diagram of that. So you'll have more to work on. But your foot is pointing towards the corner. And as you spin, your foot points towards the corner, your new foot, right? A footstep forward. But I'm not sure if you can see this. What this looks like on the floor is this. How do I do this so you can see it? Is kind of, can you see my hands? It's like this. So there's a foot here and a foot here going this direction. She says it's kind of like you had 45, kind of like this. It's like you had your feet like this, and it's on, they're at 45 degrees, but it's like you were on a board. So another thing you could do is say you're stepping on boards which are parallel to what's happening. But Master Yang talks about it differently. He says every time you step forward or back, you're always stepping towards the corner. So let's see what happens here. Let me just put something out here just for reference. Something that's at 45. So, no, that's going to be in the wrong spot. I'll put it here. I don't think that'll hurt. So that's going off towards 45. So we're here. And when we start, because we're here, right? So we're here. And as we step on what Nancy would call the board, and our hands kind of look like, I mean, our feet look like this. The other thing that we're doing is, you know what? I need to do it towards you. Here we go. Here, does this work? Here. I think I'm still turning my back to you. No, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So I'm stepping like this. Everybody see that? They're going 45, but that's like being on the board. I'm sorry, I should have done that before. But the other thing is my foot is at 45 and I step, and if my foot's at 45, do you see how my feet don't cross? I can put a 45 stick here. My foot's at 45 and when I stepped forward, I didn't step here, right? I'm behind where my weighted foot was. So then you step back. And when you step back, so here, when you step back, you're going to come behind. And because you're behind, you would look at it this way. And here was my weighted foot. And I've stepped back and I have room. I didn't cross, my feet didn't cross. Everybody see how that's kind of working? I'm going to send you an image of that, 2 images of that. Okay. So this was my new foot. So this is the one that now becomes the one that puts a line out from the toes and the heel. And then you lift up when you start to step, when you're in the midst of doing the circular cloud hands, you just reverse the toe and the heel on this foot pretty much. So the foot unweights and it reverses. And then this becomes the weighted foot. And this becomes the weighted foot. And you're going behind. So you're spinning behind and you just make sure. I stepped very close there. There you go. That'll give you more room to show you. You step here. So your feet don't cross. So I wanted to make sure we showed that. Now, once you can do this, and once you can, spin around, you have to do the 2 together. and that's where it takes some practice. Okay, so let's just see first if we can do the footwork together. So where does this start? Let's start it here. We're going to start it with our right foot here and our left foot here. We're in an empty step. Okay. We're going to shift our weight all the way onto that right foot. Pick up our left foot, and about where the heel, that left foot is, you're just going to turn. You have to turn your hips. Turn and get that foot. So again, you could say you're making that sort of wedge shape that Nancy said, or you could say they're both pointing towards the corner, right? That's your first step. Then you shift your weight left, let your right foot pivot, and just spin back. Then what I said before was when you're at this point, you're going to lift up, you're going to put your weight on your new foot, which is this one right here. It's your right foot. And you're going to pick up your left foot because you're kind of stepping forward now. You're just going to pick it up and put it down the opposite way. And then you're gonna shift back again. It gets much easier when your head is up and you're not looking at it. But of course, this is hard to do right now, right? So your foot's in the back. And then when your foot's in the back, you're going to pick up your left foot and step out for a bow step towards 9 o'clock. So let's do all of that again. And what I actually want you to do now is just try to step forward and back and spin and see if you can do it that way. It won't be exact, but you are all doing it originally naturally. And at some point, you've just got to let your body learn how to do it. So you're here, you're in that empty step. You're going to come up, pick up your left foot, put it down. Now I'm doing it much more naturally. You're going to put it down in that sort of wedge, right? Then we're going to shift and step back. If you step feeling like it's shoulder width apart, everything is easier. Then you're going to shift your weight onto the right foot and turn your left foot around. Then shift your weight on your left foot and step back with your right. The right foot always steps back. The left foot always steps forward. And here we are at the end. We shift our weight all the way to our right foot and we go into a bow step. Let's do it from another direction. From here, this is our day for footwork. All right, from here. Our first step is with the left foot. It's going to kind of make the wedge, Nancy's wedge on this line, or just pick it up and have it step to the corner, put it down. Then stand on the left foot, swing the right foot back. Stand on the right foot, turn your left foot around. Stand on your left foot and step back. Shift your weight back, heel touch, bow step. This is crazy, isn't it? On the one hand, everybody did it when you just did it naturally, and now it's somehow harder, right? Any questions about that for right now? Okay, just for fun, we're going to see if we can fit the arms. And then next week, we're really going to talk about how the arms and the legs coordinate. And then as we have time, we'll go into single whip next week, right? So don't panic, but this footwork is something to work on this week, right? If you can. All right. So we might as well do it from the direction that we've done it in, and we'll do it in a couple of directions. So here we are. Oh, I haven't shown you this yet. Let me just show you here. How do you get into this? You come up, you shift your weight back onto the right foot. And as you do, you get your setting back to normal. You can't spin unless your head is up, right? So you're gonna bring your right arm up and your left arm's gonna make this beautiful Tai Chi arm. Then as you turn, you're gonna start your cloud hands with your right arm. So I don't know that I can take it apart without it. So coming up, stepping, and then just left hand goes for cloud hands. And then you're going to come back with your right foot, shift your weight, and step. And your left arm is going out. Your left arm is the top arm going out, and your right arm's the bottom arm. And then you step back. And then we're going to go into single whip next week from here. And that's the footwork with the bow step. So single whip becomes ultra easy. Ultra easy. Dorothy, are you surviving at all? Yes.
Yeah, I am just trying to get coordinated.
The thing I did to learn this, I'm just going to tell everybody, is I remembered my cloud hands, and then I just started spinning. I just gently, slowly started spinning and didn't worry about my feet much. And when you do that, you get close. All of you were stepping, when you knew you were turning to the right, all of you were stepping forward. If you really are turning to the right, you step forward. That's how it's done. And then you step back and your feet were doing it. So you won't be exactly right, but you can try it. And if you make that attempt this week at home, because you've done cloud hands before, then you have a really good shot next week of figuring out how you're supposed to coordinate it. But chances are you're going to start figuring it out. So give it a good try this week. Okay, we're going to do it one more time from here. We're going to kick from here. So we're doing that left heel kick into twin fists. Needle to see bottom. I just came back on my foot the wrong way. So frustrating. And then coming up. Now, just do your cloud hands. You're always going to aim for the corner, but because you're spinning, it won't finish that way. So at the moment you step, aim for the corner, and then the other corner, and then aim for the corner, but you're going to go past it because you just keep spinning. You could do this forever, but you stop when you get back where you started and you step out for that bow step. Valiant attempt, Dorothy. Yes. That's very, very good. Valiant attempt. All right. Any final questions? I hate leaving it like this. There's no alternative, right? It's just the way it is, right? So we focused on footwork this week. We focused a little bit. Most people have the basic cloud hands. The thing to do is just spin and try it this week. And don't worry, just see if you can safely, slowly spin and do your cloud hands. What feels natural? Nice footwork, Gail. Looking good. All right. Any last minute questions? All right, let's close class.